For Anthony, his question that he had asked, what is the hardest part about balancing work and passion? Is there a way to keep the love for it versus monetization? Hardest part about balancing work and passion. I say when I first started, there's a twofold answer. When I first started, it was you got all the passion there, but like work that has nothing to do with your passion takes over. Like it just if you're working full-time hours, 32 plus hours a week, depending on where you at, just 30 hours a week plus you're working, that can eat up a lot of what you do. If it's labor intensive, you may not have energy and time left over to want to keep doing it, right? But that hunger, like for me, I remember putting in long hours at the grocery store when I was working, when I first started out, back in the day, before I moved to Pittsburgh. Man, I wanted it that bad. Like I wanted this so bad to where like where I'm a creative director of a hip hop orchestra here in Pittsburgh, where outside of that, I do engineering at the YMCA in Homewood, where outside of those, I make websites for folks and help them manage it and maintain it and show them how to make content, DIY if they're willing to learn. Like, I'm learning to now be more grateful about it because of how stressful it was to get here, how frustrating it was to get here. How many folks doubted me getting here, including my family, including my parents. All respect to them. Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad. Right? And they the type of parents that were just like, look, you chose to be an artist, music artist. Here are the numbers of those who have been successful. And that was practical, right? Basically saying like, look, kiddo, if you are not going to give this your honest take, your heart, sweat, soul, blood, tears, and I don't mean sell your soul. I mean, if you're not going to put your all into it, don't even bother. And I just don't like to lose. So like for me, I'm having to learn that in a new way because my family has lost a lot, yo. We have lost a lot of folks. We have lost money. We have lost we've a lot of time we've lost physical things and we've lost parts of ourselves that we still trying to get back to this day. So when I talk about I don't like to lose, it's really just been like figuring out what are your goals. KRS once said it to us when we had opened up for him. He said, yo, the minute that you say you've made it is the minute that you lose it. Because it's like a mountain that you keep climbing, right? And as soon as you say you made it, that's the peak. And then the only other place down is down this way or down the way you came up. So never say that you've made it. There are mad folks that have told me throughout my journey, Doss, you've made it. You've made it. I'm like, made what? Made what? Especially if you still broke in this country. Like, I ain't even gonna go there. Like, a lot of us is still broke. So when folks is looking at us and saying that you made it, it's just like, back to that perspective thing again. Like someone looking at you and they got a perspective of you that you may not even have yourself of. And to some degree that can teach you how to be grateful of it. Is there a way to keep the love for it versus the monetization? I would say don't let money be the thing that you love about what you do. Let it be a factor. You don't want to like sell yourself short. And so you do want to know your worth. Like I used to sell beats for $50. I stopped selling beats for $50. You're going to have a lot of folks that say like, oh, you're being a diva. You're acting like you're worth too much and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, I thought you wanted me to have faith in myself. I thought you wanted me to have a belief in what it is that I do. And I'm not saying that like, overcharge for what you do. Some folks have that belief to overcharge and then allow folks to come down from that price. When the whole world's hurting for money, that, in my opinion, my experience, that hasn't been the best business policy depending on the audience you're working within. That might work for some customer bases, but it doesn't work for everybody, especially if there's not room to negotiate or if people don't know that they can negotiate, right? When you go to a flea market, it's kind of understood that you can haggle, that you can negotiate the price that you see, right? So a lot of times you actually set the price maybe a little high just so whoever comes up to you who got the cojones to ask, to ask you, hey, can you come down off of this? And, that works in certain markets. In other markets, you can't go into McDonald's or like a restaurant and be like, hey, I only got 20. Like, can I get this plate that's 50 for 20? That's not going to happen, right? You're going to have to know the person that owned the restaurant and all that or something like that. Or they got like a policy where you got to bust down the dishes for like a whole hour or some shit, right? So hopefully, Tone, that answers your question, brother.